All right. What's our next topic of the day, Robert?
Well, the next topic is from Jason Twiner. Hey, John, according to Variety, director Christopher McQuarrie has signed on to make the next 2 installments in the Mission Impossible franchise. This has got me really excited. If it isn't broke, don't fix it. How can McQuarrie possibly top Fallout? Anyway, what do you think about this news? What do you think about this news, John?
Well, I mean, let's be specific. Here's exactly what the news is that the email is talking about here. Variety wrote up this, and this is what Variety had to say. McQuarrie has signed on back to return to write and direct. I think that's important. He's writing and directing the next 2 films in the popular franchise. Sources also add that both films would be shot back to back, not unlike the final 2 Avengers sequels, in order to take advantage of the popularity of the series. I also think to take advantage of the fact that Tom Cruise ain't getting any younger. Take advantage of the popularity of the series, with the first bowing in the summer of 2021 and the second coming out in the summer of 2022. The release comes in 2021 to avoid conflict with Paramount and Cruise's next big adventure, Top Gun Maverick, which, by the way, Christopher McQuarrie also wrote, I believe. This is terrific. And it's so smart on a couple of... it's funny, just last week, one of our viewer emails was asking, should they even bother doing more movies? And we were like, absolutely yes. And in case you forgot about it, look at the box office results that these movies have had. Let's go back and look at these again. The box office results for these movies have always been incredible. First one makes 475. Second one makes 546. Third one makes almost 400. Fourth one makes 694. Fifth one makes 682. And the latest one is the biggest one of them all. Fallout made $791 million. And the audiences love them and the critics love them. Of course you make more. But I also think, like I referred to a little bit earlier, the idea that Tom Cruise is now well into his 50s. He can't keep this up forever.
Right.
Why not hammer 2 of them out at the same time and knock them out of the park, which makes you think it might be kind of a connected story between the 2 that they release one year after the other. So, and I'll tell you what, Christopher McQuarrie, incredible. And Christopher McQuarrie has kind of become Tom Cruise's guy. Because Christopher McQuarrie has also directed Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. He directed Mission Impossible Fallout. He directed the highly underrated first Jack Reacher movie. Second one, not so good, but he didn't direct that one. And then he's also written other movies with Tom Cruise. Another really underrated Tom Cruise movie, I think, is Valkyrie, which Bryan Singer directed.
And he wrote.
And
I
mean, with McQuarrie. He also directed one of my top 10 favorite films of all, or he also wrote one of my top 10 favorite films of all time, The Usual Suspects. Also directed.
He won an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, and so I love this. The fact that they are locking this guy in for 2 more films. Nothing wrong with this story whatsoever. What do you think?
I think it's great. And, here's what I think we're going to see more and more of this. After The Lord of the Rings, which everyone knows they were all shot at the same time, concurrently. I think with these larger franchise properties, especially like Avengers, Endgame, and Infinity War, shooting them at the same time concurrently is a really smart idea from both a financing and a production standpoint.
Yeah.
Because you're amortizing the costs. You don't have to start up a film from scratch over and over again. And you can sort of plan things out more, like especially, it's going to end on a hell of a cliffhanger.
Oh,
whatever the first one. And
with Tom Cruise, maybe literally a cliffhanger.
And the story about McQuarrie writing Rogue Nation and Fallout was he was writing as they went. They didn't even have finished scripts when they started filming these movies. So this is really going to give the production team enough time to really plan and really create some. I can't even imagine what they're going to create for these stunts. I don't know what they're going to do. I think we might see them go into space. They probably are talking to Richard Branson or SpaceX or somebody. But I think it's just a smart move all the way around, and I hope it's a trend. I mean, for these franchise pictures that do well, I'm hoping we see more of this. I'd love to see. Look, I wish they would have done that with the Star Trek franchise. Do 2 movies at once. Yeah,
I mean, it does become a challenge because a lot of people say, "Why don't you always do this? Why don't you always just film 2?" Because it's a huge risk.
It's huge. Financially, it's a huge risk.
Got to know what kind of returns you're going to get on this investment. That's why Mission Impossible, they're doing that with parts 7 and 8. With Avengers, they did it 18 films into the MCU. So when Peter Jackson did it and New Line did it with Lord of the Rings, people thought they were insane.
It was one of the biggest financial risks in the history of Hollywood. It was a gamble of epic proportions that paid off.
Yeah, it did. But they do have to be cautious with it. But I agree with you. I'd like to see them with proven, financially rewarding franchise to then say, hey, this is a risk worth taking. Let's step up and give it a shot.